Hey, what's going on, freight fans? Freight guy here. Today is Monday, the 30th of March. Our governor here in Arizona, Doug Ducey, he just laid down that mandatory stay-at-home thing. Only supposed to go to the grocery store and to the pharmacy, according to what he said. So what's funny is that it's got some provisions in there about, you know, you can go out and exercise. You can play golf as long as you're practicing social distancing. How's that any different than what we were already told to do anyway? I don't get it. Down here in Sahuarita right now, at our house down here, we're going to head back home tomorrow, take all the kids. I didn't get to tell you guys, but on my trip to South Dakota, my cruise control went out again. So last time I took it in, they fixed it. It was the brake switch. Essentially, it would catch, and so when cruise control would come on, it would think the brake was hitting and knock it off. So I started doing that again when Mason and I were driving on the way to South Dakota. So if you can imagine, we probably did 90% of the miles without cruise control. It did kick back on the way back for a little period of time. So on Saturday, I don't know, probably around noon, it started working again for about the last 5 hours of our drive. So I don't know what the deal is. I took it over to the dealership here, so they've got it right now. My truck's not under warranty anymore, but these people will warranty it because they're the ones that did the last repair. So I'm hoping they can figure it out. We'll see what happens. I should get it back tomorrow and go from there. I also wanted to share on this video, I'm going to put up my 6-month review of the Big Tex trailer. So I filmed it a couple days ago. So that'll follow this little message, and you guys let me know what you think. Been super happy with that trailer, although they're thinking that it's possible that could be the issue with my cruise control, that maybe it's the trailer, and it does only happen when I'm plugged in, so it could be, but they're wondering maybe if there's something electrical going on. And if you had to look at South Georgia's videos or anybody else's videos, you kind of would be like, yeah, maybe it is a trailer, but I haven't had any problems with the trailer, so I hate to think that that's what it could be, but who knows, man. So anyway, coming up, here's the video about the trailer review, and I'll give you guys an update later this week about what's going on. Thanks. Talk to you guys later. Deuces.
Alright, freight fans, so I was going to do a quick review of my trailer. So I bought this in August of 2019. This is a 2020. So 2020 Big Tex 22 GM. Okay. If you guys have watched any of my older videos, you know that when I purchased this, I should have done more research at the time. I didn't, so I ended up with a tandem dually trailer, which is typically for people that are going to be hauling a whole lot more than what I'm doing. So most guys pulling this behind them, they're CDL drivers. I'm not, obviously, so I had to have this thing derated quite a bit in order to use it for what I'm doing. And with that said, in hindsight, I'm glad I did, and I think I've kind of shared that before in other videos, but I think because of its ability to haul so much more freight, that the wear and tear on this trailer for what I'm hauling is way less than what some of the other guys are getting that have just a tandem trailer with single wheels on it. So anyway, so in hindsight, I'm glad. Total weight of this trailer is roughly 900 pounds more than a 14 GN, which would be the Big Tex model that most of the non-CDL hotshots are using. So, you know, I don't know, 900 pounds, yeah, I guess that can affect you. I mean, I can only scale 9,100 on the trailer, obviously. Most of the guys can do about 10,000. So I'm a little bit less than that, but I don't seem to have problems finding loads. With that said, I've also not seen what I'm missing by not having that 900 pounds. So I don't know, you know, what's out there that weighs 10,000 pounds or 9,500 pounds that I'm not seeing, because when I filter my load boards, I'm filtering it by 9,000 pounds. So let's jump into this review. So first thing I kind of wanted to cover is these mega ramps. Okay, they serve a purpose. They flip out, they lay down, they create a ramp to go up onto the deck of the trailer. Now, my personal opinion, I would not do this again. I would just do a straight deck where it's basically like this all the way out to the back, and then it has just some expendable ramps that come out from the sides here. So you'd have two essentially tire width ramps that come out to the bottom if you needed to load vehicles or whatever. And the reason I say that is because these ramps are heavy. So I think that was a I want to say they told me it was 300 or 400 pounds extra to have ramps like this instead of just a straight deck. In addition to that, the angle is so steep, it's really hard to get anything up on here anyway. So high clearance vehicles like pickup trucks and stuff like that, not too much of a problem. But there's no way in hell I'm going to get a car on here without having to finagle and create angles and try to find spots in parking lots to do that. And you know, I'm not interested in spending all that time trying to load something for a few $100. So you know, tractors, I mean, you guys have seen, I've had a couple tractors on here. I had one that was really difficult to get up there. It was more of a lawnmower, like a golf course lawnmower. But I've also had tractor that wasn't so difficult to get up either. But I just think in hindsight, I wouldn't do this again. And that's just my humble opinion, guys. I'm sure depending on the part of the country that you're in, would have a lot to do with whether or not you want to have these or not. I'm sure in the Midwest it's a whole lot more popular. So starting from the rear here, we'll kind of work our way up. I mean, not a pretty simple trailer, nothing crazy about it. I've only had issues so far with the license plate lights. I've had to replace both of those. But other than that, everything else has been no issue whatsoever. All the other light bulbs have worked just fine. They haven't gone out on me. You know, I do my pre-trips and my post-trips every day, and they're always really good. Again, I only had to do the license plate lights, and one went out, and then about 12 hours later, the other one went out, and so I just, basically, they both got replaced at the same time. So we'll see how long that seems to hold up, but that's cheap, no big deal. One of the concerns I have so far with this, I don't know if you can tell in the video here, but you know, we're starting to get a lot of rust. Now I would imagine, because of the amount of time I've spent driving up north, that this was probably from the salt on the roads. Obviously in Arizona, we don't get a whole lot of rain, but certainly it does once in a while. But as you can see, for a 6-month-old trailer, essentially, that's just, it seems like a lot of rust. We come around here, we come over to the wheels and the tires. I'm still running a total of 8 tires, 2 of which I've replaced, which I had a video on, which are these 2 that we're looking at right here. I am not real thrilled with this particular tire versus the ones that the Big Tex came with. This is what the Big Tex came with. That somebody called me and interrupted. The trailer came with these Good Ride tires. I've got 6 in excellent condition. The 2 that I had to get rid of just developed some weird flat spots that I showed you guys in a previous video, but the tires have been great. Yeah, I do have to check the air pressure in them just like you would anything else, and I've had to add air here and there, but other than that, not too big an issue. What I wasn't sure about, just based on reviews that I've seen, was these oil bath hubs. So I like them. I hear a lot of people complain about them, but the people that complain about them are complaining about them on the single wheel tandem axle. For me, I've had 0 issues. Very simple to handle. So you just take off this little rubber sleeve here, and then there's your oil. And you just pump in your oil. I can't remember, it's some sort of synthetic. I don't have the grades in front of me right now, but you put in the oil up to that line, and away you go. And you know, they suggested that I do that as I do oil changes on my truck. So I've done it basically every 10,000 miles. Most of the time it hasn't needed anything at all, but I'll top them off anyway. But I haven't had any issues, no leaks, nothing like that with these. And all around on 4 sides, they've all been very consistent with very few issues or problems. Naturally, since I'm not hauling a whole lot of weight on these trailers, on this trailer, my leaf springs have had no issues with those. Everything's been sound. It pulls and rides smooth, so I have no complaints at all about the way the trailer handles. I did coat my deck when I first bought this with an all-weather protectant. I'm not sure quite what you call that, but and I'm glad I did, because you can see it does start getting worn out and beat up. I imagine eventually I'll have to start replacing certain boards and stuff like that, but that's okay. I mean, that comes with the territory. I'm not too worried about that. As far as the operation of the trailer from up here, now this is the toolbox. It's not super big. You know, I try to keep it fairly organized for the most part. I've got my chains in here, carry a hammer, and then my straps. I mean, it's big enough for me to carry around what I need. I think I've got, I don't know, 8 to 10 straps in here. Probably 11 or 12 ratchets. That's because I've had a couple straps snap. But the toolbox seems to be big enough, so I'm not complaining about the toolbox. The legs of the trailer are getting pretty rusty too, and they're loud. So when you're bringing them up and down, I mean, it squeaks and makes all kinds of noise. So I mean, it's loud and a little sloppy. Same with the turn handle. You know, it's a loud, a little sloppy, rusty, but I don't care. It works. So for me, who gives a shit? None of the marking lights or the running lights that I have on here have had any issues. Everything's been in good operating condition. So I would highly recommend this. Again, this is the 2020 model, 22GN. It's a 35 plus 5 because it's a 35-foot deck with a 5-foot dovetail, which is the ramps back here. And I would highly recommend Big Tex's trailers thus far, 6 months in. Again, Frick, I would say no to this. I won't do these again if I buy another trailer. I would just do a flat deck with ramps, like I said. And I'd get rid of these mega ramps. But I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that actually need and use those things. So I'm sure they serve a purpose for some people, just not me. Honestly, it's just kind of wasted space. I'd rather just have it be deck. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my breakdown on the Big Tex trailer, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, hit me up below. Subscribe, click the thumbs up, and then somebody told me to hit the notification button. Whatever, man. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.